أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
الحمد لله ثم الحمد لله. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونستنصره، ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهد الله فلا مضل له، ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، إلها واحدا أحدا صمدا، لم يتخذ صاحبة ولا ولدا، ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. وأشهد أن نبينا وعظيمنا محمدا عبد الله ورسوله وصفيه من خلقه وحبيبه. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين، وبعد. يقول جل جلاله في محكم كتابه في سورة يوسف: ثم بدا لهم من بعد ما رأوا الآيات ليسجننه حتى حين ودخل معه السجن فتيان. I'm still within the series of explaining the four surah al-Mi'in, from Yunus to Al-Ra'd. Each one takes a critical topic within a major Islamic concept, explains it and looks at it from different angles, reminding us that Islam, in order for it to function, there are certain key points that have to exist in it for it to work. In Surah Yunus, we talked about creed and the critical point of believing in Qada and Qadr and understanding that clearly. And we did a number of khutbahs on that. And Surah Hud talked about the message and the critical point of reform. Without reform, Islam does not bring change and does not do its job. And in Surah Yusuf, it talks about the ethics, the morals, the behaviors. And the critical point of consistency. The consistency of ethics and behaviors, that they should not change. And that's the theme of Surah Yusuf when we study his story, alayhi salam. And I've already talked about a couple of examples of that regarding him, alayhi salam. And today I'm going to talk about another one. How he dealt with mistreatment or oppression, or things going the opposite of how you think they should go. Whether it's oppression from people around you and mistreatment, or it's just the sequence of events happening in a way that just don't seem to make sense to you and just don't seem fair. When it doesn't seem fair, regardless of whether the lack of justice that you observe is coming to you from a person, from another human being, or it's just happening within the universe that you live in, and you can't pinpoint a specific culprit for why it is you're going through it. And the example in Surat Yusuf of that, a strong example, and there's a lot within his story, but this one I think stands out, is when Yusuf alayhi salam, as I explained the last maybe 2 or 3 khutbahs, was being seduced by Imra'at al-Aziz, and by then and after that, by most of the women of the realm, all of the high class ladies of the realm, and they would send after him and they would try to seduce him, and he would refuse it very clearly. And we talked about dealing with temptation in the previous khutbahs. He said, alayhi salam, "Sijinu ahabbu ilay." I'd rather go to jail than have to do something that is haram. He said that. I'm not sure if he thought that was actually going to happen. He said it, and he was truthful about it, obviously, alayhi salam. But I'm not sure he thought it was actually going to occur. It did. The verse says, ثُمَّ بَدَى لَهُمْ, and then it became clear to them, to the ladies of the realm, to Imra'at al-Aziz. مِن بَعْدِ مَا رَأَوُا الْآيَاتِ. After the investigation was done, if you remember, when al-Aziz came in and saw his wife trying to pull Yusuf, she claimed that he was trying to hurt her or harm her. And Yusuf said, she's the one who's doing, I have no interest. I was actually just trying to push her back. So they had an investigation. Look at where his shirt is pulled. If it's pulled from behind, then she was trying to pull him back, and she's the culprit. She's she's the one who's at fault, and he's innocent. And if the shirt is pulled from a front, then it's his fault. She was trying to fight him off. So after the investigation was done, so the ayat here in this verse, referring to the fact that they found out it's actually she was the one who was trying to do it. He was trying to run away. Now, for her to save face, and for the ladies of the realm to save face, because they all got in onto it, then we have to put him in jail. We have to claim that he tried to rape. We had to claim that he was trying to rape us, and then we put him in jail. And they sat together and they agreed to this, and that's explained later on at the end of the surah. فَاسْأَلْهُ مَا بَالُ النِّسْوَةِ اللَّاتِي قَطَّعْنَ أَيْدِيَهُنَّ. And we'll talk about that inshallah next week. They put him in jail. And they didn't put him in jail with no crime. No, they actually ruined his reputation. Meaning that he was put in jail with the crime of rape. I want you to imagine this for a moment. It's very important for you to take a second and imagine what Yusuf alayhi salam is going through here, in order for you to appreciate fully what this verse is and what this surah is explaining to us. Yusuf alayhi salam was tempted a number of times by a number of people. Alayhi salam, at this point in his life, was young, was gharib, he was unknown, he was enslaved. For him to say yes was really easy. And it wouldn't really have cost him anything, alayhi salam. It wouldn't have taken away anything of who he was, because he had nothing to lose. They had everything to lose. If one of the ladies of the realm, them married to the lords and the nobles of the land, it was to come out that they are having an affair with someone, they're the ones who are going to lose everything. He has nothing to lose. Yet he stood firm and said no to fahisha. He said no, not a chance. Ma'adh Allah, never. I would never do that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect me from that. And then they actually took it a step further, and they were openly in front of each other asking him for fahisha, and he still said no. And they told him, we're going to jail you. And he said, okay, fine, jail is better than doing the haram. So imagine you're being that pious. You're being amazing. You're very proud of yourself. You have said no to fahisha, not once or twice, but multiple times. Not to one person, but to multiple people who are asking you for it. You feel very good about the ethical standard that you have set for yourself for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not like you didn't want it. It's not like some part of you on the inside was hoping for this to happen. You're just like any other human being. But you're saying no for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What happens? What reward do you get for saying no to haram? You go to jail accused of rape. And you don't go to jail for a night or two. No, you go to jail for 9 years. The best 9 years of your life. You're in your 20s, you go to jail. For 9 years accused of rape because you refused to perform a fahisha. Think about that for a moment. Imagine that happening to someone. How close to Allah would they stay? How committed and dedicated to their deen will they continue to be? He says subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَن يَعْبُدُ اللَّهَ عَلَى حَرْفٍ فَإِنْ أَصَابَهُ خَيْرٌ اطْمَأَنَّ بِهِ وإن أصابته فتنة انقلب على وجهه خسر الدنيا والآخرة ذلك هو الخسران المبين. Amongst us are people who serve Allah and worship Allah, but they're standing right on the edge. Right on the edge. All it takes is for one thing to go wrong, and that's it. I've had enough. If things go well, no problem. I said no to haram and I got a reward for it in my life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted me wealth or granted me strength or a beautiful wife or whatever. Great. I say no to haram and then I get actually punished for it. I get into trouble. I go to jail. I'm accused of rape. I'm paraded in front of the people of my country, laughed at and called a rapist. No, that's too much. أصابته فتنة. If there's a fitna and if there's a test, a heavier test, انقلب على وجهه. He loses everything. انقلب على وجهه means he's walking in one direction, he turns his face and falls in the other direction, losing both dunya and akhirah, and that is the true and clear loss. You see, these type of problems, oppression, mistreatment, things going the opposite of how you want them to go, it examines and tests your breaking point. It tests within you your breaking point. When will you break? How firm are you? When you say La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah and you have the intention of fastaqim, you're going to walk the non-corrupt path, the straight path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These type of problems in life, they come and they see, well, let's see how firm you are. Let's take a hammer and hit a few times. How hard does it take for us to hit for you to break? Some people are right on the edge. Actually, a lot of people are right on the edge. Yusuf alayhi salam, what he went through is almost unimaginable. It's very hard to actually accept. Think about it. It's very hard. He didn't go to jail for a couple of days. No, 9 years. Almost a decade. He's in jail, alayhi salam. Why? Because he refused to perform a fahisha. And he's in jail being called a rapist. He's never, ever, even... He didn't break. Because he's not one of the people who worship Allah on an edge. No, he's not on an edge. His trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is way beyond this. He knows sometimes you do good and you get good. Sometimes you do good and you don't get good. In this dunya, it doesn't matter. In this dunya, it's just, you're just being dealt a hand. Sometimes the hand looks great and sometimes it doesn't. The trust that you have is in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's justice on the day of judgment and how He will reward you and compensate you for what you've done. We don't live life expecting to be rewarded for every good deed that we do. No. This is a very common error that we all have. See, Yusuf alayhi salam wasn't waiting. No, He'll take care of me. He'll let me out. Yeah, I'm in jail tonight, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will get me out. I deserve it. I've been so good. I have followed everything. I have refused clearly for His sake not to do something. It's not possible. He'll leave me to rot in jail for 9 years. He was left in jail for 9 years. And he didn't change, alayhi salatu wassalam. إخواني وأخواتي يختبر الظلم تختبر المصائب فينا نقطة الكسر. المصائب والابتلاءات والمظالم تختبر في الإنسان نقطة الكسر. هناك أشخاص يعبدون الله على الحرف، أي ما دام إذا فعل خيرا جنى خيرا مطمئن ما في مشكلة، لكن إذا فعل خيرا وجنى سوى ذلك أتته فتنة أو مصيبة أو ابتلاء أو أذى ينقلب على وجهه ويخسر الدنيا ولا يكفر بالله ويترك الإسلام. يوسف عليه السلام رفض أن يقع في الفاحشة مرات متعددة متوالية. ليست امرأة واحدة تطلبه وإنما النساء من حولها كلهن يطلبنه للفاحشة ويقول معاذ الله فاستعصم. يقول السجن أحب إلي. فلفقوا له تهمة اتهموه باغتصابهن ثم رموه في السجن تخيل أنك ترفض الفاحشة ثم تدخل السجن متهم بالاغتصاب، وأنت ترفض الفاحشة، يعني كان بإمكانك ما تدخل السجن لو أنك فعلت الفاحشة، لكنك رفضتها، ثم تسجن متهما بالاغتصاب وتبقى في السجن ليس يوما أو 9 سنوات. الله أكبر. الإنسان ويوسف عليه السلام لا يتغير، ويوسف عليه السلام بمنتهى الصبر، لأنه لا يعبد الله على حرف، إنه يدرك عليه السلام أن هذه الدنيا هكذا، يوم لك ويوم عليك، ليس فيه. الله سبحانه وتعالى ما وعد المؤمن إذا أحسن أنه في الدنيا يعطيه كل ما يريد ولا يبتليه، بل الله سبحانه وتعالى وعد المؤمن أنه إذا آمن به حقا أنه يبتليه. أحسب الناس أن يتركوا أن يقولوا آمنا وهم لا يفتنون. هذا وعد الله، هذا ما وعدنا به، فيدرك ذلك. لم يندم أنه لم يقع في الفاحشة، يقول يعني فوق ما عملتهاش، كمان سجن 9 سنين. لا، ما خرجت منه هذه الكلمة، ولم يفكر فيها، لأن ثقته فيما عند الله سبحانه وتعالى ثقة مطلقة، أن الله يوم القيامة يؤجره، أن الله يوم القيامة يجزيه على حسن صبره، وليس عنده إشكال. طبعا ما أحد يتمنى السجن، لكن ليس عنده إشكال في قبول ما قضى الله سبحانه وتعالى من أمر. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه يغفر لكم. يا فوز المستغفرين، استغفر الله. الحمد لله وحده، وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على من لا نبي بعده، وعلى آله وصحبه ومن اتبع نهجه ووفى عهده. There's actually more to the story than this. Yusuf, not only did he say no to haram and end up going to jail, accused of the opposite of what he didn't do, of what he refused to do, of the opposite of it. Not only that he went to jail for 9 years, but when he went into jail, what did he do? He met 2 people. Go recite the verses and what he does, alayhi salam. يا صاحبي السجن أأرباب متفرقون خير أم الله الواحد القهار ما تعبدون من دونه إلا أسماء سميتموها أنتم وآباؤكم ما أنزل الله بها من سلطان إن الحكم إلا لله أمر ألا تعبدوا إلا إياه ذلك الدين القيم ولكن أكثر الناس لا يعلمون. He performs da'wah. He goes to jail unjustly, accused of something that he did the opposite of. And the first thing that he does is he takes the opportunity to perform da'wah. In the worst moment, in the darkest moment of your life, produce the best you've got. In your darkest moment, produce the best that you have on the inside. Do your best. Things are getting worse, you get better. It's getting darker and things are not working more and more, you put out even better. Do more. Increase your output of khair to the world around you. That is what it means to be accepting of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's decree. This is what it means to be Muslim. We don't fluctuate. See, the consistency of who he was the same. He was someone who loved Allah and performed da'wah. Whether he was outside happy as a free man or in jail unjustly as a slave made no difference. When he met you, he was going to do da'wah for you. Those circumstances did not affect what he was going to be and what he was going to do, alayhi salam. Because it was constant. These things didn't change. The consistency of our ethics and of our values and of who you are, that has to be decided by you. You decide who you are. You don't give your remote control to some other thing to decide whether you're going to be a good person today or a bad one, whether you're going to perform da'wah today or not, whether you're going to be generous and kind and empathetic and a good Muslim or not. Why does someone else hold the remote control and press the button and then you will behave based on that? Why? You're the one who holds it. The remote control is in your hand. The circumstances of life, the winds of change, the tsunami of difficulties that happen every day, they shouldn't be able to press your buttons. You're the one who holds onto it and you're the one who decides. And Yusuf alayhi salam goes to jail. The first thing he does is he gives da'wah. Oh, that my 2 friends of jail. What is better? Worshipping all these idols or worshipping Allah, the one, the Qahhar. He uses that name. Al-Qahhar subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who enforces his will on everyone. Because he's in jail, he understands that Allah's will is enforced on me, I can't change it. If qaharni subhanahu wa ta'ala, he wants me in jail, I'm in jail. He wants me out, I'm out. It's him. He makes the decision subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's al-Qahhar, I am just his servant. And he goes on his da'wah alayhi salam. In your worst, darkest moment, produce the best you have on the inside. It gets darker and more difficult. You work harder. You increase your output. You hold on to your ethics even firmer. إخواني وأخواتي أختم لكم الخطبة في أحلك الظروف أخرج أحسن ما عندك. في أحلك الظروف أخرج أحسن ما عندك. كلما ضاقت كلما ازداد الخير منك. كلما تعبت كلما ابتليت كلما فتنت كثر الخير الصادر منك. كثرة الطاعات والخدمة لله سبحانه وتعالى التي تأتي منك. هذا هو ديدن الأنبياء عليهم الصلاة والسلام. هكذا صنع يوسف عليه السلام. يدخل السجن مظلوما لسنين فيكون أول ما يقول عليه السلام أن يدعو إلى الله سبحانه وتعالى يا صاحبي السجن أأرباب متفرقون خير. لأن يوسف عليه السلام لا يتغير، هو يدعو إلى الله سواء كان عبدا مظلوما في السجن أو حرا طليقا في عزيز مصر، ما تفرق مع يوسف. يوسف قيمه ثابتة لا تغيرها الظروف، لا تتحكم بقيمه ومبادئه متغيرات وحوادث الكون من حوله لا تغيره. هو هكذا ثابت على قيمه ومبادئه بغض النظر عن الوضع الذي هو فيه عليه السلام. And this is what I was hoping that inshallah you all take from this khutbah. There is I'm not sure the timing of it, but we do have a short film that has been put forward talking about the tragedies that happened in June of 2021. I'm not sure if there's a flyer here or not, but it's something that we should all at least participate in. It was made by Muslim brothers and sisters and put forward. It talks about what happened, and I think there's a festival for it, or at least, and I would like everyone to at least look into that and see it and try to get involved in it, inshallah ta'ala. We can never forget what happened. We should keep that alive, and we should keep that memory alive, and we should make sure that we work hard towards making sure that this never happens again. واعلموا أن الله أمرنا بأمر عظيم فقال إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد وارض اللهم عن الأربعة الخلفاء السادة الحنفاء أبي بكر وعمر وعثمان وعلي وارض اللهم عن زوجاته أمهات المؤمنين وعن آله الطيبين الطاهرين وعن صحابته الغر الميامين وعن التابعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وعنا معهم برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات اللهم فرج هموم المهمومين ونفس كروب المكروبين وارفع الغم عن المغمومين وارفع الظلم عن المظلومين واحقن دماءنا ودماء المسلمين اللهم انصر إخواننا المرابطين في المسجد الأقصى ورده إلينا في العاجل القريب يا رب العالمين وردنا أجمعين إليك ردا جميلا وتب علينا أجمعين توبة نصوحا طهرنا بها قلبا وجسدا وروحا وما ذلك عليك اللهم بعزيز ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم عباد الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون أقم الصلاة
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
آمن أبدا لا إله إلا الله. استووا اعتدلوا استقيموا لا تختلفوا حاذوا بين المناكب سدوا الخلل لا تدعوا فرجا بينكم سووا الصف تسوية الصف من إقام الصلاة أتموا الأول فالأول لينوا في أيدي إخوانكم shoulder to shoulder ankle to ankle. Straighten your lines and silence your phones. استووا. الله أكبر.